Hi everyone, today our topic is eyeballing the line of best fit. You do not need to write down everything we'll cover in this video, but be sure to jot down important information and at least one example of each type of poem that we'll cover. And also remember, you can pause the video to jot down important notes, rewind to view information again, and fast forward if you think you got it. But don't fast forward so much that you miss out on something important. Alright, so let's start off by talking about what this line of best fit thing is. So our scatter plot has a whole bunch of different dots on it, right? We've already talked about how you can kind of figure out if it's a positive or negative linear association. We drew kind of like a tunnel to figure that out. So the line of best fit just kind of narrows that down even more from that tunnel, that trend, into a straight line. So the line of best fit is a straight line that you draw on a scatter plot to capture what you think is the general trend. How do we know that it's the line of best fit? Well, good lines of best fit have the same amount of points above and below the line. And when we say same amount, we're talking more like approximately the same. So you're trying to capture, in general, what's going on. You obviously can't make it perfect, and that's why the lesson's called eyeballing the line of best fit. Everybody's line of best fit will be a little bit off because you're kind of using your best judgment for it. So it's kind of like a sketch. Okay? Be sure to have this definition written down in your notebook, and then we're going to move on and talk about some examples. All right. So I have a couple of examples to show you. So pretend like these X's are dots. This example is using X's instead of dots. You'll see that the green line is a better line of best fit compared to the red line. So the green line kind of follows that trend more. It's a little bit more down and to the left. It's a little bit more down, and then and a little bit more up and to the right. So it's slanted, it's a bit more steep compared to the red line. The red line isn't really following this point that kind of drags that trend down. So you really want to, the best way to do it is to draw yourself that tunnel and then narrow it down. Okay, that tunnel that we've talked about before will really help you figure out that general shape. So we'll talk more about that. But here's an example of what's good and what's not good. Here's another example. So this line of best fit here, you can clearly see, it's a little harder to see on that previous one because both the lines are on top of each other. But for this one, you can clearly see that this is not a good line of best fit. It's too low. Most of the points are above the line. You want to have an even amount above and below. So a lot of times people will just do like a connect the dots, and they're like, oh look, there's 4 dots that I can connect a line through. No, that's not necessarily the best method. You want to capture most of the dots. So you don't even really need to have your line go through or touch any of the dots. You're just trying to find the general trend. So be sure to sketch what a good and bad line kind of looks like in your notebook. All right, let's do some examples. In this example, it's asking you which line fits the data graph below. So they're giving you A, B, and C to choose from, and then another option is just none of them. So go ahead and pause the video and try to pick the best one. All right, this one seems to be pretty clear that C is going to be the best one because A is going in a completely different direction. B is not even touching most of the lines. It's too low there. So C is definitely the best one. Remember, one of the options is none of the lines. So we still got to check and make sure it's going through that general trend. So if I were to draw a line through and make myself a little tunnel, it should be pretty much even on both sides. So you should have picked that C is the best. Let's do another one. Here again, which line fits the data graph below? Which line is the best? Pause the video and try it. Okay, here again, you should have picked C. Let me use a red line this time. If I were to create a tunnel around my dots, it pretty much goes around C. B is the closest, but it's too slanted. So it's kind of like our example from here. It's a little too slanted, a little bit off. Okay, so C again. On a quiz, you're going to have to draw it on your own, so just know that. Let's do one last one. Which one is the best here? All right, so again, we're going to look and see which line fits the general trend. If I were to continue this line, you would see that it's going around line A. So if you have a bunch of points, like I said before, draw yourself a tunnel on either side, and then your line should go pretty much in the middle there. Okay? So that tunnel really does help. C is a little bit off. So A for this one. So like I said, on a quiz, you're going to have to draw your own. Everybody's going to be a little bit off, but everybody should also be pretty much in the general area. Let me know if you have any questions as you work on this lesson, and I'll see you in class.